Hey everybody, it's that time of the year again. It's the week of the Phoenix Open, and then to make matters, I don't want to say worse, but even more complicated, we've got the Super Bowl this weekend. There was an extra 1 million people in the Valley, or there will be by the end of the Super Bowl on Sunday. That brings with it all sorts of problems. People that don't know where they're going. You've got people that bring bad habits, if you will, into the Valley. There's no reason to drink and drive because the law enforcement agencies are en masse to bust people for drinking and driving. For people from out of state that come here, they rent a car, they end up drinking, they don't take an Uber or a cab or a Lyft or what have you, and they get popped for a DUI. And first offense DUI in and of itself isn't that big a deal, but it is a crime. It'll leave you with a criminal record, but you've got to come back here probably in the godforsaken heat of the summer to go to court. And that costs you money in terms of where you're staying, another plane fare. So if you're from out of state, just don't take any chances, don't do anything dumb and drink and drive here, and that leads to another issue. Too much drinking, and I get a lot of assault cases in bars. Again, temper everything. Everything's fine in moderation, and I know I don't need to tell you that, but again, you'll end up having to come back here to go to court, and anything that happens here will get back to your home state, especially if it involves a car and driving. Under federal law, every state is to share their motor vehicle division information on their drivers. It doesn't always happen that way, and some people get lucky in their home state. Nobody ever hears about it, but more than likely it will, and the suspensions in a lot of other states for a DUI conviction are way worse than Arizona. So be aware of how much money it could cost you if you get popped for a DUI and having to fly back, and all the incidentals and having to waste your time coming back here because you did one dumb thing. Not to mention the fact DUIs can be life-changing. If there's an accident, you can end up hurting somebody, including yourself. Your life can change in a minute. It's not worth it. And my point here is just behave. Just try to temper your drinking and don't do anything. Every city that I know of, we've got open container laws here. You can't walk down the street in downtown, Old Town Scottsdale with an open beer in your hand. Keep that in mind. Can't do it with a plastic cup, an open beer, a bottle of wine, whatever it happens to be. It's still a crime, and you can end up having to come back here again just to deal with that issue. If you get arrested and you end up with a criminal conviction, you lose your job from it just because you're in Arizona for the Phoenix Open and the Super Bowl now. It doesn't mean you can forget about the fact that we have the same kind of laws for the most part that everybody else does. Have fun, have a great time, but just don't get out of control. Take care.